Good evening, my friends. It is night. It is 10 after 9 on, where are we? Friday? Friday night. It's been a week. And I did not film anything for you this morning, and I'll tell you while we cook. But as you can see in the background, I am prepping to cook. We're going to do as much as we can tonight for the 4th of July barbecue tomorrow. But I wanted to take you outside and show you the swimming pool. It's still new. Bear with me. I'm still in love, but I want to share it with you. So I'm just going to walk outside, and I've got the light on, not just this light, the light in the pool. Yes. This is a robotic skimmer. You'll see that tomorrow. And this little pink thing at the end, let me walk down there. Okay. This little pink guy is a flamingo. He is the chlorine tablet holder, and he is solar, so he will light up. Just push him and his friend. Okay, and that is a baby one, which is the thermometer for the pool. And since my mother was a flamingo lover, got that kind of in honor of her, we're calling the big flamingo Ro, which is my mother's nickname. She was Rosemary, and everybody called her Ro. And the little one we're calling Fubsy, which was her little white Lhasa Apso, who was just the sweetest dog ever. I've named the skimmer Frank because my dad was always working, and the skimmer is always working. And so my husband made the joke that when we get the vacuum, we can't call it Linda because that wouldn't be very accurate. And I said, oh, no, we have to call the vacuum Linda. So anybody else name their items? So anyway, there's Ro and Fubsy floating around. Here's the pool at night. Goodness, this cord is still out there because we don't have the landscaping done yet. Said it would be done today. They didn't come through, but it will get done. Can't really see, but I did set up the couch in the back corner because we're gonna have people tomorrow, so I had to. And this is one of the chairs. One of Jeff's friends put it together for us today. He promised he's gonna come back and put the other one together tomorrow. Oh, the flag is blowing. You can really see that because of the street light. But yeah. And then I moved the fire pit table right here. And I mean, it's not ideal. It's not 100%, but you know what? We're still going to get together. We're still going to have a good time. And I just wanted to share how pretty I think the pool looks right now. So we're going to go ahead, and we got a deck box yesterday, and that's not going to stay there. That's going to go at the end over there, I think. All right, we're back at it. And so I thought we'd play our little game of catch up tonight. Well, I did some prep work for cooking, so it'll be a dual video. And I'm leaving the pool light on because I'll glance out the window every once in a while and see it. All right, so that you don't get jostled around, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, set you up, and then we're going to get into cooking. I guess before we do that, I'll show you everything I have set up. Okay, we're going to be putting coleslaw together. And I will say, everybody does their own thing. As many ways to make anything as there are people that make it. Okay, here I'm going to do a pasta salad. Here we're going to do another, I'm not going to make a cake, we're going to make mini cupcakes. And then baked beans and baby reds because we're going to make a potato salad. And my drinks of choice. So you'll always see my cups. One of these two cups are always going to be there. Branding, Rose's Poses, yes. What I drink on the regular in this cup, I fill it with ice, and then I fill all but about that much with water. And then I take this, is the Kirkland brand Diet Citrus Tea, or Diet Green Tea. It's citrus flavor. And from there to the top, I put just a splash of the tea. Gives the water a little flavor and helps me cut down on my caffeine. However, talking about caffeine, and we are starting at 9 o'clock at night, so we are caffeinating ourselves so that we can manage to stay up. This is my go-to favorite drink, and I backed off of it because it got to be very expensive, a very expensive habit for me. But this, not sponsored, but hey, would love to be, because like I said, it got very expensive. Oregon chai, sugar-free chai tea latte. This is a concentrate. My sister got me hooked on chai tea before I had gastric bypass surgery. The chai tea that Starbucks did. And then I had the gastric bypass and can't have all that added sugar. Then I found the sugar-free. Because I don't need all that much dairy, but I drink an awful lot of this when I start. I do the Fairlife lactose-free milk. I think it's really good. I can't tell the difference. And I get the 2% on that. Now the directions say 50-50. I don't think I'm quite 50-50. I think I'm a little heavier on the tea than the milk. I put about 3/4 of the cup with ice, and then I put the tea in, and then I shake the milk. Don't need to shake the milk for any reason except to get the little bubbles, and then I pour that in, and then I mix it up. So we're two-fisting drinking tonight because we want to stay hydrated and caffeinated so that we can stay up and get everything done so that we can maybe enjoy tomorrow a little bit. I have already taken everything out. Oh, I've got eggs out too. Okay, we are going to do deviled eggs as well. Okay, and I have taken everything out of the freezer. So we have chicken thighs, hot dogs, hamburgers. What is that? Oh, that is a red pepper. That needs to go out here because it's going in my pasta salad. Let's see. My sister gave us fresh fruit. And because I was ordering from 2 different places, ended up with a lot of provolone cheese and a lot of coleslaw mix. So making these 2 bags will be made into coleslaw for tomorrow. I have 2 other bags that are going to end up being some kind of cabbage dish next week. All right, now you've seen what we've got going on. I can show you over here. We've got the hamburger and hot dog buns. I do have some fudge brownie mix for the people that want their sugar. There's going to be their chocolate. And the minced garlic, I had said in a previous video, when I do my deviled eggs, I like to add the juice from the garlic. So I made sure to order a jar of minced garlic. For my potato salad, I'm not going to be able to complete it tonight because, riddle me this, Batman, but I ordered groceries from both Safeway and from Walmart, and Walmart, in its infinite wisdom, substituted fresh basil for fresh dill. You can explain that one to me if you can. I don't know how the two would exchange. I really don't know. But now I have 2 packages of fresh basil, which I'm probably just going to put out to dry, and then I'll crumble it up and have fresh dried basil. All right, I'm going to turn you around, and we're going to get to cooking. Okay, before we go any further, just thought I'd tell you what my shirt says. It says, "Life is ironic. It takes sadness to know what happiness is, noise to appreciate silence, and absence to value presence." The half Buddha face. So just came from teaching. Still have all this on, and that's okay. We're going to get to cooking. Cooking and drinking. All right. So we will start with, well, I already started kind of with the baked beans. So I like Bush's baked beans. Not sponsored. When you're making videos, if you are specifically doing like product placement, you're supposed to let them know. I'm supposed to let you know if the products have sponsored me, meaning they've either given me the item to use in a video, or they've paid me to do a review. Not that big yet. Nobody's sponsoring me yet. We don't have big enough numbers yet. We can grow this channel, and then people will start taking notice. They'll see the things that I use and promote, and then they may offer it to me or offer me like a contract to do a video or something. But I like to share things that I find to be good, valuable, whatever it is. So the Bush's baked beans, 0 added sugar, because as you know, we can't have the sugar. So those are what I like to use. And do I ever leave everything as is? No. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just throw this can away, but I saved the can to show you. And when I do what I call my big cooking, I always have just a big black trash bag, because I'll go through this trash can like crazy. So I go ahead and just have a big trash bag set aside. Okay, in my baked beans, I like to add mustard, and I like to add shredded cheese. I don't think I have any shredded cheese, so we're going to kind of forgo that. I don't like that dried bit of mustard, so we're getting rid of that. Now I'm just prepping this mustard, goodness, so that tomorrow I can just pop it in the oven and let it go nice and low and slow. But it's one less thing I'm going to have to do in the morning, because as is, I'm going to need to get up early and take care of PR, because she didn't get her walk. She got to run with her cousins today, but she did not get her walk around the block. She did not get her hood walk today. That's why you didn't get a video this morning. I do multitask. You're going to ask me how much mustard I put in there? You saw. We cook on vibes around here. So, but even sugar-free kind of tastes kind of sweet. So I like to kind of balance that out. And like I said, I like to put shredded cheese in this. I just don't have any. And that's okay. So the mustard is mixed in. I can cover this and put this in the refrigerator outside. In the meantime, I'm just going to pop it onto a counter. And my pants they're like a little split leg, so I can flash a little thigh there. They are from a brand called July Yoga, and I really like their clothes. They're not really great for compression, but they've got some cool styles, and they are kind of expensive, but they last quite a while. I mean, I've had these pants for about 5 years now, and I have a lot of clothes. A lot of yoga clothes, a lot of regular clothes, so I'm not wearing them even once a week. I'm probably wearing them maybe 3 times a year. Maybe. I think this is the second time this year I've worn them. And we're in July officially, right? Okay, baked beans are done. We'll pop them in the fridge later, but in the meantime, we'll just get them out of our way. Deviled eggs are my nemesis. I may need this foil again. I'm just going to pop this over here. And I really want you guys to help me out here, because I have tried doing deviled eggs many, many ways. And peeling them is always such a bitch. Now that I've said that, when I go on camera to peel them, they might slide right off like they should. But normally I am destroying the outside of the egg trying to peel these little guys. So I got one pan came to a boil, and I let them sit for about 10 minutes in the hot water. And we're going to go ahead and run cold water on them. I've heard about putting vinegar in it. I've tried it that way. The best deviled eggs, the best hard-boiled eggs that I had my sister do. She steamed them. I can steam them in my quick cooker, which is the same thing as the Instapot. However, my little egg holder only holds like, I think 6 eggs, and I'm doing 18, 12, 30 eggs. So I'll give us 60 deviled eggs. Because let me tell you, every time I make deviled eggs, they're gone. I mean, I'm carrying them out of the refrigerator to put them on the table and people are grabbing them. Everybody loves deviled eggs. Who am I? I'm going to give the people what they want if I can. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to make our coleslaw. Yes, you can buy regular cabbage, green cabbage, and red cabbage, and you can slice it really thin, and you can julienne your own carrots, or you can buy a bag of pre-shredded coleslaw mix, which is what I've done. And I got the 3 colors, so it's the purple and the green cabbage and then the carrots. And my favorite, absolute favorite coleslaw dressing, even more so than what I might make, is by Marie's. None of this is sponsored. Not sponsored by Marie's. I'm not sponsored by anything on this counter. Okay. But it is my favorite. And it is a bit of a splurge. And it's totally worth it to me. So, and just dump the water on these eggs. Some cool water, just they can sit in that cool water. I'm going to open up our coleslaw mix. And I always put crushed pineapple in my coleslaw. I don't really know where that came from. It's just what I do. Can't tell you when I started doing it or why. For me, it always seems like I've just done it forever. So, this is washed and ready to eat. You do not have to sit there and worry about that. Okay. One thing to remember when you are making coleslaw is, yes, there are 2 bags of coleslaw mix here, or cabbage mix. I am not going to use this whole jar. I may use about half of it, because when it sits overnight, the moisture starts to release, and this, what looks like an awful lot of cabbage, is probably going to reduce by about 1/3. Right, so it just gets to be too saucy, and I don't like that either. Keeping it neat and clean, guys. Keeping it neat and clean. That's not working out. There we go. Just a little lift. Crushed pineapple. And we're going to basically do the same cake that we did when I did the pineapple upside down cake. However, I haven't posted that video yet because there's some audio issues with it, and I'm really trying to figure out how to fix it. So you're not seeing this for a second time. It'll kind of be for the first time how I do the cake. But we're going to use some of this in there, and then we're going to use the rest of it in the cake. And I'm going to make mini cupcakes, and then we're going to decorate them with whipped cream and strawberries and blueberries. Red, white, and blue. Got that? All right. On theme. We love a theme around here. I am not looking to put all the juice in here. Really looking to get mostly pineapple. It's okay if some of the juice gets in here, but I want to reserve as much of the juice as I can for my cake mix. If you don't like pineapple, you have some aversion to it. I don't understand that, but that's okay. I have an aversion to coconut, and a lot of people don't understand that either. And I love pineapple, and pineapple and coconut go together, right? But no. No, no, no. Okay, I think I've used about half that can. Maybe a little, about half that can. Okay, if I need more, I can always grab more. And then, got our, let me just rinse my spoon. We can use the same spoon. As I've said multiple times, it takes forever for water to boil. Let me tell you, this has been going for almost 30 minutes now. It's just now coming to a boil. To me, that's just crazy. All right. That's about half. And we're just gonna mix. And then I will transfer this into another bowl. And you want the cabbage to be coated but not dripping. It's going to take a little bit of extra mixing just because there's a lot of cabbage in here. So tell me, how did your day go today? While we're cooking, talk to me. Tell me all about it. What happened for you today? Can give you a little Jeffrey update. We went to see the vascular surgeon yesterday, back to Tucson. And the vascular surgeon, I have to laugh because she was very pregnant and very loud. And I'm thinking, like, when we're in this room with her, which I have to tell you all about that too. But when we're in this room with her, she's just really talking super loud, right? And I'm thinking, we're not that far apart. Why is she so loud? You know, like I wanted to just step back. And then it dawned on me, well, she's working with veterans, and a lot of our veterans are older. And even the younger ones, if they've been in any area where there's been a conflict, their hearing is going to be going because, you know, listen, guns and mortars and all that stuff is really loud, and it just tears your hearing up. So I was laughing about that because she was just so loud. And I just wanted to just go, take it down a notch or two. It's okay. But I didn't. Okay, so the visit to the vascular surgeon. They didn't want us to bring PR in again. They said because they have a sterile environment because they do procedures there. That ER was not sterile. I don't care who you are. It was by no stretch of the imagination was that a sterile environment. And that was the reason there. So, you know, they made an accommodation now. They put us in the conference room, and the doctor came and saw us in the conference room. And, you know, Jeff's like, she's a registered service dog. I have her card here, and right on the back of the card, it says, do not separate the handler from the dog. And they're like, well, you know, it's a sterile environment. We do procedures here, and you don't do procedures in every room. But anyway, that's their policy. And they can do that because there are only 2 exemptions as to where service dogs can go, and that is at the discretion of these 2 particular places. They are government buildings and religious institutions. So a church can tell you that you can't bring your service dog in. And government buildings, if they want to, can tell you that you can't bring your service dog in. Knowing that, you probably won't go back. You probably will not go back. Okay. NPR was the perfect service dog. Let me tell you, she was so good. When we were waiting in the waiting room, normally she likes to lay out like in front of us. She went under. She went under the chairs and she laid under the chairs. And then when we went into the conference room, she did the same thing. I'm so impressed with her. She was such a good girl. So, meeting with the surgeon. Okay, you can see that's kind of glossy looking, and everything is coated here. So I'm going to just put the lid back on this. Come tomorrow before I go to serve it. If it looks like it's a little bit dry for some reason, I still have plenty left to put on. And I know some people like to put raisins in their coleslaw. I'm not that person. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the bowls. See if Gimbal will follow me. Probably not. Not all the way over here. That's okay. See if it'll pick me back up. You got me? He's got me. No, he doesn't. Crazy little guy. Got me now? Come over this way. Here we are. Yay. Okay. These are nesting bowls. And I'm going to say, let's see. You know, I want it to fit in this bowl. By tomorrow, it may fit in that bowl. I don't think tonight it's going to. I'm willing to give it a try, though. So what did the vascular surgeon say? The vascular surgeon said that dog hair inside a sealed bowl, said that she looked at his CT scans and she said, yes, his carotid arteries are blocked. 70 is the worst, not 90. 50 and 60%. Now, for me, being uneducated until this conversation with the very loud doctor, for me, I was thinking if an artery is 50% blocked, let's say, just for argument's sake, the artery is 10 inches long. Okay. If it's 50% blocked, this fits perfect, by the way, then in my mind, I'm thinking that probably like all the way up that 10-inch tube and then around the inside, 50% blocked. No. She said Jeff's 50% blockage is one of the arteries in the back of the neck. And she said that it's only in a little spot. One little spot is 50%. There's a 50% blockage in one little spot. So it's not the whole vein, which was interesting. You know, for me, that's something I didn't know. She did say, she's like, I'm a surgeon. So what I do is surgery. She said, however, it's her recommendation that we not do surgery. There are two different things to do. Yes, you could try and stint it, but that's a little more dangerous. Or they go in and clean them. They made the joke like roto-rootering. You put this in here if I have room. We're going to kind of just pop it in there wherever I can fit it, and I'll take it outside, and we're done. Okay, this is done. We're going to get this out of the way. I'll just put it on top of the microwave. And we're going to put up a pot of water for the pasta, which means I'm going to take these eggs out. Which means I'm going to grab a towel. Put the towel on the sink here and take these eggs out. I'm going to use this pan. I do have another pot. I mean, I have plenty of pots and pans, and I could, but this is the right size for what I need, so I'm just going to reuse this pot. Okay. Just in case, I don't want my potatoes to taste like eggshell. I'm going to dump that, start with a fresh pot. So she said that she would not recommend doing surgery. She would recommend doing a repeat CT scan in 6 months. So I kind of appreciated a surgeon not wanting to go in and cut and do things right away. So kudos to our loud doctor for that. Wipe the outside of that off so I don't have it water spot as it heats up. Back burner on. So, as far as that goes, we are going to follow up in 6 months. I said to her, and she said she really does not believe that these arteries are the cause of him passing out at seemingly random times. So, where does that leave us? She said since it is Oh, I can't even think of the word I was going to use. Since there is shortness of breath involved, she thinks that maybe we should see pulmonary. He should see pulmonary. I'm not seeing anybody. And she said, maybe there's a problem there. Maybe for some reason your lungs, you're not getting enough oxygen, and that's why you're passing out. I think, okay. So we're going to get the consult to pulmonary, and we're going to see, let them do their lung tests and everything. It's good enough for him to have anyway. And he said he thought he had a workup done on his lungs already. His primary will be able to look that up. If he has, and everything was good, maybe they want to just give him another shot, see if anything's changed. I don't know. So we really don't have any answers. And while he was in the hospital, they did do a full cardiac workup, and perfect. Stress test, perfect. Echo, perfect. EKGs, normal for him. And yeah, so heart's fine. No signs of stroke. And you did talk about, the plaque that's inside those clogged arteries, if they were to come loose, and how they would float around and could cause strokes, aneurysms, that kind of thing. But she said she doesn't feel, from what she sees, he's just not at risk for that. So, good. You don't have to worry about it. But we still need to know why he's passing out at random. And she said, she was funny. She's like, well, sounds like it's happening on exertion. I said to her, absolutely no shade to my husband, who's sitting right here in front of me. But he does not exert himself. And anybody that knows him is laughing hearing that statement right now. He does not exert himself, okay? He gets up from the couch, goes to the kitchen, gets something to eat or drink, and goes back to the couch. He may go sit out in the garage. Once, sometimes twice a week, he'll take the garbage can from the front of the garage, walk it down the driveway to the street, and then take the empty can back up. At least once a week, sometimes twice. That is the extent of exertion. So, I said, I think we should rule out exertion. And she laughed. So, I don't think we're any the wiser onto the whys this is happening. But there is a certain peace of mind with the fact that his heart's good. That we don't need to really be worried about these clogged arteries. Unless she's off, They are human, and every human is different, so, who knows. So right now, just have him kind of taking it extra easy. Not really doing anything too strenuous. Getting ready for this 4th of July. I didn't have him help me move patio furniture or anything like that. And I made him fold his own laundry tonight. That's the extent of his exertion. Today, anyway. Let's see. I think our other thing of eggs is good. I'll turn those off, let them sit for about 10 minutes, and then we'll run them under cold water as well. For the potatoes, I'm going to make a red potato salad. So I'm cutting them up fairly small, so that they, 1, all cook together, and 2, to make a nice little bite. I'm not making a mashed potato salad. If I overcook the potatoes, it might mash a little bit, but I'm not quite sure how many people we're going to have tomorrow. We're thinking about 20, maybe 25, but I don't know. So we'll have food. That's all. For whomever shows up. And that was our visit with pulmonology. Also, my initial thought for him was his primary care did change his blood pressure medicine. Because his blood pressure was running high, they doubled his blood pressure medicine. I think if it's not the vascular nonsense, that it could very well be that. So his primary wanted to keep his blood pressure medicine as it was. And I thought that maybe it should just be a smidge lower. Because he was taking whatever he was taking. If it was 20 milligrams, like 10 in the morning, 10 at night, they doubled it. So now he's getting 40. So talking about it, he decided on his own, because I don't want to be contrary, when it comes to his health, but really, his blood pressure was really low. Sometimes it was like 120, 130 over 60, which is great if you're an athlete. That's an athlete's blood pressure. He's no athlete. It'd just be too low. So he decided to change it to 15. And he said he felt really good today. So we got a little bit overheated outside. But he came inside when he started to feel too hot. And we didn't get the pavers and the grass done before the 4th. The guy said he would do it. And then he said, well, the grass place wasn't open today. So my thought is, okay, you can still come and put all those pavers down, because the grass is just going in between the pavers. You could level this out. You could do the pavers. And it's not like he didn't know on Monday. And he's the one that promised to have it done by Friday. I didn't push for that. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, no problem. And so he knew on Monday that this was coming up. So why wouldn't you go buy the supplies? Because you know everybody's going to be closed on Friday. It is the observance of the holiday. Whatever. So one of the guys came by and at least laid out a few pavers, so we don't have a total muddy mess coming in the house every time somebody gets out of the pool. And then I moved the patio furniture, put the couch at the end of the pool like I was thinking. Right now we got we'll see how it works out with that table there today. But that's kind of in the dirt. It is what it is. It is not going to be the end of the world. And it's really about people getting together and just enjoying each other's company and some good food and celebrating the nation's 250th birthday. My sister keeps liking to say, the great social experiment. And she was telling me she normally doesn't watch YouTube. And she said she was watching YouTube the other night, but she wasn't watching my videos though. And I tell her, let them run in the background. And you know what? Start them. Push the little thumbs up button. Let them run in the background while you do whatever. If you're not paying attention to it, that's fine. But it's still a view. And there's still some interaction. But whatever she was watching were about Europeans and like how old their countries are, and how they're so amazed, especially with the World Cup going on. Everybody, I'm sure you've seen it, all these people from all these other countries love ranch dressing and God forbid, and Golden Corral and Taco Bell, and are amazed and impressed by our groceries. And as much as we are upset by everything that might be going on in this world, we still do have it better than so many people in so many other countries. And that's the way the country they chose to live in and the way they chose to live it. Yes, but we're a baby. I mean, those countries are, I mean, what? Roman Empire. Some of these countries in Europe go that far back, right? What are we, 250 years old? We're babies. And we're doing stuff that nobody ever did before. So yeah, we're going to have some hiccups. We're going to have some bumps in the road. We're going to have people thinking they can do things that they really can't. And then we're going to have our system have to set them right. And we're all part of this social experiment. And I kind of liked her take and her view on that. And I'm not going to argue any of this with any of you, okay? You know, I can have my sister on. We can do like a live podcast. You can come on and give your opinions. And she can argue it out better than I could. But I liked her opinion. You know, I always like to hear other people's opinions. Especially, you know, sometimes we go down our own rabbit holes and we do kind of forget the bigger pictures when we focus on some of the other things. So, on the one hand, happy birthday, USA. Still, even with all our problems, with all our faults, with everything going on, still one of the best countries in the world. So, that is that. And I haven't been to these other countries, so, but my sister has, and my husband has. And I love the fact that we can sit here and we can bitch about all the things we don't like, and we can protest anything we don't like. And there are countries where you can't do that. Well, certain fractions would like to stop that here, but it's in our Constitution, so it's not going to happen. And some people maybe think that the Constitution doesn't apply and that they can do what they want. And they're slowly but surely finding out otherwise. So, that was that. And I have an almost full pot of potatoes. I don't think I'm going to need to make all of these. So we're going to let it go at that. And I'm not a political girl, so we're not talking politics here. We're just talking about our country. And really, how great it is overall. And how overall good we have it. We don't have lines for groceries. Unless you're living in South Florida and there's a hurricane. And you got lines for water. You got lines for gas. All right, I think that's going to make, here I am adding to it, right? I think, yes, maybe no. We'll save these little bits of potatoes. We'll have those with dinner one night. I'll just add these two to the pot. So, what are your 4th of July plans? Going anywhere? Doing anything? Having people over? What are you doing? Did you start to travel? Are you going somewhere interesting? I hope that whatever it is that you do, you are safe and you have a great time. I would like to get as much as possible done because there's a big celebration at Veterans Park here in town. And I did not get to go last year because last year I was teaching. And I am going to be entertaining, so the more I can get done, then maybe I can go and check it out. No, I don't want to put it in there. I want to put it in my big bag. Okay, potatoes are up. I'm gonna rinse this off. And we're gonna reuse this because we're gonna start the pasta salad. The potatoes up. I want to rinse this out. I'll probably use this again for the pasta salad to mix that up. I want to rinse these eggs in some cold water. And then use that pot. I'm going to use that pot. I'm going to get another pot out. We need a bigger pot for the pasta. It seems this pasta salad, I make a couple different pasta salads, but this particular one, this group of people really seem to like. And the last time I only did one box of pasta and there was nothing left. So I'm going to do 2 boxes of pasta this time. Let's see. Where is the pot that I want to use? Maybe under here. Yes, I will be back. You will hear all the clanking of these pots and pans. Ah, yes. Well, I grabbed the one I want for the pasta. Might as well get a lid while we're at it. That fits. And I'll go ahead and fill this. So, our little celebration in the park, I think it starts at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning with what they call Pets on Parade. So pets and their owners get dressed up patriotically, and there's a little parade around Veterans Park, and there's a judging, and there's going to be some different concerts. I think there's going to be a couple local bands playing, and big fireworks display, and lots of vendors. So there's going to be like a market there. Okay. Let's get these over here and get them rinsed. And we're going to keep this up here. Get that going. A lid on the pot. Trap that steam in. Let it come to a boil faster. I don't want to be out here all night long. I don't mind working till about midnight, and I hope by then I get just about everything done. We're going to prep the stuff to go in the pasta salad. And that bowl with 2 pounds of pasta is going to be too small. So I think we will end up using this bigger bowl for the pasta salad. Why is that important now? Because I want to just go ahead and toss everything in here that I'm going to be using for the pasta salad. Queso. We're not doing any cheese dip. No. Need my can opener. Love this can opener. What can I tell you about it? Oh, it's Pampered Chef. That's what I can tell you about it. It's nice. Gives you those edges that are not sharp, so you're not going to cut yourself, which doesn't really matter to me. However, as you can see, it turns really easily. And sometimes my hands hurt. They do get a little arthritis in them. And when you're going around and around, it's a little bit harder. And then when you hit the part that you started at, all of a sudden it gets easier. So it's like you feel it and you know that it's good. And then you can just turn it half a turn in reverse and it releases from the lid. And then it's got this little jobby on the side and this button on this side. And it's like a little bird's beak. And you just put it on the edge of the can and pull it up. And there we are. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll hold on to that can lid until you make it to the garbage can. Release the button. Love this can opener. I'm not sure what this thing is for. You think it's for like opening packages maybe? I don't know. I did buy, and they did deliver sliced olives. I'm going to get a little strainer out because I don't need the olive juice. I just need the olives. So I'm going to go ahead and strain that. And olives can be very overpowering, and I don't mind olives, but I don't want them to be the wah in my face. Like, I want everything to just kind of blend a bit. So even though they're sliced, I'm going to give them just a little chop. Just a rough chop. Not trying to make them into tiny diced, or I would have bought diced olives. And I only have that one little can, and that's going to be more than enough for this 2 pounds of pasta because, like I said, we don't want to have an olive pasta salad. I'm making a riff on an antipasta with pasta. Okay. And they're not going to be, not everybody likes olives, so they're not going to be so tiny that you can't avoid them. Just big enough if you don't like them, you can push them aside. Okay, here's our dice on our olives, and in they go. Let's rinse our bell pepper, see if I can get that sticker off of it, and we'll go ahead and dice that. I'm going to dump this water and put more cold water in there. Lots of different ways to slice the pepper. I do just take the top, slice it, remove the stem, and then just slice this down the middle. And I can just get rid of this ribbing on the inside and those little bits of seeds. PR's over there dreaming. Can hear her. She's all over. All right. So what happened this morning that we didn't get our walk and chat? Did I tell you yesterday about draining the swimming pool? I don't remember if I did or not. If I did, pardon the repeat. Now, I am dicing these, but not, let's call it a chop, okay? Because I'm not doing a fine dice. These are a little bit bigger. I don't need them to be super small. It's a pasta salad. I want you to be able to kind of get a forkful, you know? So, kind of the size of them. Yesterday morning, Jeff was in the hospital, right? And I think I might have told you this because I might have been sitting on the edge of the pool while we had that conversation. I'm telling you, these days have really run together. Just this back and forth with the hospital and everything. I kind of lost track of days. I've lost track of what I'm telling you. So if it's a repeat, just apologize. So it overflowed the pool. I had to bucket it out. And it was probably 150, 200 buckets of water. And they're not light, okay? Not light at all. So I told my sister, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it to work out Thursday morning. I think that I have done quite a bit of arm work, and I think that I should give these arms a little bit of a break. So I did not go yesterday to walk the dog, or to work out. I went today. I told her, I said, if it's okay with you and it fits your schedule, I'll come Friday to make up for Thursday. And she's like, you don't have to make it up, but okay, come anytime you want. So got up and went there, and it was arms today. So here we are. You would think that I should have the most toned arms ever. But I did my workout and then came home, and Jeff needed some help with some things. So I didn't get a chance to walk PR, so we didn't get our little chat. PR did go with me to my sister's. She did get her walk in. She got some playtime in anyway, because when we go to my sister's, the garage is open. We make sure we close the gate, and we let the doggies run run amok on the property. So she gets to run with her cousins. Okay. So we've got that one small can of olives and then one bell pepper that has got a rough chop to it. Okay, this is turkey pepperoni. It's okay. It looks weird. I have to smell it because it just looks weird. It's not regular pepperoni. It looks weird. I'll make sure it's still okay. So, and then I had to go teach, and I got to go teach. I didn't have to. Very blessed to be able to go and teach. So I went and taught yoga, and I had people show up for both classes. So that was yay. That's a yay time. Love that when it happens. And I had a nice amount of people. I had 2 for 8:30, and I had 3 come for the 10. And then I had one come at 6:30. She came a little early, and she used the massage chair, and we chatted. And then I had restorative, and then she left, and I came home and got on with you and with this. Okay, so there's our pepperoni, and we're putting in some Genoa salami. Oh, yep, Genoa salami, hard salami. Okay. It smells fine too. Always want to make sure, even when you get it fresh. My husband is the guy that will say, let me have a slice at the deli. I am not. I'm like, I order what I need, and I don't ask for a taste. He asks for the taste, which is probably wise. But that's not me. So, just make sure it's okay. Give it a little sniff. And it's a cured meat. They're good for a long time, I know. But I don't know how long they've been in the grocery either, so I'm gonna do a little more. How much am I make? I don't know. We're cooking on vibes here. We're not measuring. We're gonna say, that looks about right. Okay. And it probably looks about right once I get this done, because we still put provolone cheese in there. Now, I knew that I was not going to have time, and I didn't want to leave Jeff alone for too terribly long. So I ordered groceries from both Walmart and from Safeway. I told you how Walmart sent me basil in place of dill. I set up the delivery for between 1 and 3, because I knew when I was done teaching, I had a conference call I was going on for an hour, and then I would be available. So 1 o'clock, perfectly good time for my groceries to arrive if they came on the early end. 3 o'clock was also fine. About 3, a little before 3, I get a text saying that there is a delay, and I should be getting my groceries at 4:10. Groceries did not come at 4:10. Groceries did not come at 5. So I went ahead and I got on the app and talked to the bot, talked to AI, and asked AI when my groceries were coming. And they said there's a delay. And I'm like, I know there's a delay. What time can I expect my groceries? And they said they'll be delivered by 10 o'clock tonight. And that was at 5-something. And about 5:30, my groceries showed up on the doorstep. So I am very grateful that I did not have to wait until 10 o'clock tonight to get my groceries delivered. Because then I would have been really starting much later. And we have been hanging out now for about an hour. And I would not be getting started until just now. Okay. That's going to be good. That's what I'm going to do for the meat. I'm going to mix that up. Looks good. I'm going to put the cheese in. I'm going to wash my hands here. Alrighty. So, the potatoes are boiling. The pasta water's boiling. Look at that. That is hot. I am not going to touch that with my bare hands. Okay. I know I have said this in a previous cooking video. For those that didn't know, because I didn't know until I got a new set of pots and pans and actually read the instructions. Don't put salt in your water until it's already boiling because it pits your pans. Okay? When you're doing pasta, you want to make that water taste like the ocean. So, salt that, and that's kosher salt. All right, now I have a pasta. I am using the rainbow rotini. Whether it's actually carrot, spinach, and regular pasta, I can't tell you, but that is what they're leading us to believe. We're going to go with it because what do I know? Okay. 1 box. 2 boxes. Boxes going in the garbage. Kind of crazy that we live in the desert and people are very eco-conscious around here. You know, we conserve water and we do this and we do that. There's no recycling here. And the way they do have recycling, there is a company that charges you to come pick up your recycling. Guess who is not going to pay somebody to come and pick up their recycling, and then they're going to turn around and do whatever sorting they're going to do, and then they're going to sell it to somebody else? No, sorry, not doing that. And it's not cheap. I mean, if it were like $20 a month, I'd be like, okay, $20 a month. But it's not cheap. It's like really expensive. So, and they don't take everything. They don't recycle everything. Putting the meats back in the fridge. Going with the provolone. I got the sliced provolone, not smoked. I don't care for smoked cheeses, really. Oh. All that weightlifting, you think I could do this without having to cut it. But no, I cannot. Okay, let's check our potatoes. Let's grab a fork, stab our potatoes, and see if they are just a little less than tender. So like I said, I don't want them to be mashed. Can I just grab one here? Okay, they're still slightly harder than I would want them to be. I'm going to just give this pasta a stir. And I'm going to look at this cheese. It really is quite a simple pasta salad to make. And you can put whatever you want in this, right? If you don't like salami, don't put salami in it. If you want to go all vegetarian, do that. Put red and yellow peppers and orange peppers in there and put the olives in there. And we've got a red onion that we're going to be putting in there as well. And vegetarian can eat cheese. If you're vegan, don't do that. Don't put the cheese in. It's fine. Really make this any way you want. Secret sauce on this is Italian dressing. And because there's so much in it, you don't have to buy the most expensive of everything, right? The simpler the food, the fewer ingredients, use the best quality you can afford to buy. That is my philosophy on that. And when there's lots of stuff in it, so buy the store brand. Unless you think the store brand is some of the best stuff out there, then make sure you do that. It's fine. There's no right or wrong. Okay, now I'm gonna break this up. Let's give that pasta a stir. It's bubbling up. I am going to turn these potatoes off, and we're just going to let them sit while I finish this up. And then I'm going to get a bigger strainer out and we're going to strain them. And then we're going to toss those into the metal bowl. And, goodness. I don't want big chunks of cheese in here. I don't mind if like 2 slices stick together, but I don't want this cube in there. And I don't trust that they're going to come apart when I stir it, when I put the dressing in there. And this pasta is going, because I'm putting cheese in here, this pasta is going to need to be completely cooled before we go ahead and put it in. Otherwise, you're going to melt your pasta, or you're going to melt your cheese. Can you tell I'm getting a little tired? That's okay. We're going to make it. So I was telling you why you didn't get a video this morning. It was funny because one of my friends from Florida texted me to check in with Jeff. She goes, I didn't see a video. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Like I said, let me drone on in the background. It's fine. I'm not going to be offended. I'm going to appreciate the view. Let's see. Oh, my vacuum is sleeping. I just dropped a piece of cheese. Normally she would be in here. What drop? Where is it? She is zonked out. Okay. Now, you can also, I've made this in the past, where you can go to the deli and just ask for, because they'll slice your meat and your cheese any thickness you want. So if you want to make it chunkier instead of using slices, just ask them to give you maybe 1/4 inch slices of your salami and your provolone. Maybe 1/4 inch is a bit much, maybe 1/8 inch. But you can get it sliced as thin as you want, right? So do it a little bit thicker. And then you can have cubes in there, which also is lovely. Okay, what's that look like? That looks like we're just going to finish off this cheese. That's what it looks like to me. I'm not going to stack it. Maybe it'll separate a little bit easier. You get in there. So I started saying how I ordered from both Walmart and Safeway. And I started out just ordering from Walmart. And then my husband said, oh, but there's free eggs at Safeway. I'm like, okay, so let me look at what the Safeway has. And some of the stuff was cheaper at Safeway than it was at Walmart. So I'm like, if I'm going to order from the 2 of them, I might as well. Which is how I ended up with 4 bags of coleslaw mix. And what else did I double on? Didn't double on the eggs. I got what I needed for eggs. But yeah, there were 2 things that I ordered from both places. I don't know. I thought I double checked it to make sure that I, wasn't duplicating anything. Jeff loves cabbage. We can cook that cabbage up into another dish. See if I have any kielbasa in there. Kielbasa and cabbage is always good. Very Polish. Okay. So this is what this looks like. Okay. So that's all the yummy stuff. And if my husband were awake, he'd be picking at that because that's just some of his favorite stuff. Now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to give the pasta a stir. I'm going to go ahead and open the dressing, and we're going to kind of marinate this in the dressing. And we're going to let that pasta, I ordered, I don't know if I ordered light or if they just gave me light, but we have light Italian dressing. We want the pasta to cool. Because if we put it in there warm, besides melting the cheese, it'll suck up all your dressing. It's going to already take up a lot of it, but we don't want that to happen. Spoon. So we'll make sure that that pasta is completely cooled before we add it in. And I might have another Italian dressing if I need it. If I don't have another Italian dressing, I can make it really quick. I was just trying to do everything as easily as possible for myself and still make everybody else happy. Because I really do want to be able to kind of enjoy watching people enjoy the pool and stuff like that tomorrow. I still have to cook on the grill and, get all the food out. And I will say, anybody that comes, they're always so happy to be helpful. And usually I'm telling people, no. But because I don't want Jeff on the grill because it's going to be too hot for him, I will make sure that I grill. And, people start asking me, what can I do to help? Then I'm going to say, if you can grab this and grab that. And I'm going to do it that way because I do not want my husband to get overheated and pass out. There we are, kind of dressed in the dressing. And we'll just put this aside for now. Okay. So, baked beans done. Potato salad. Let's get these eggs out of here. Oh, the other thing I tried with peeling eggs, I had seen something about put them in a metal pan or a metal bowl with a lid on it and then shake them around and breaks it up and makes them super easy. Easy to peel. I know I get the hiccups at the oddest times. Yeah, that didn't work either. I can't tell you all the different ways I've tried, but I really want to hear what you guys have to say. What's worked for you? And if it's something I haven't tried already. And I've even tried, you let them boil for 10 minutes, you let them sit in the hot water for 10 minutes. And that was probably loud for you, sorry. And then you run them under cold water while you're peeling them. And I don't even know what I'm leaving out because there are just as many ways, I think, to peel eggs anymore as there are people that peel eggs. Let's put that in there. Okay. I love this. If you don't have one of these, let me see if I don't drip water all over the place. This little sponge with the handle, love it. Love it, love it, love it. It makes all of this a breeze. Things I do not put in my dishwasher. Your wood, anything. Cutting boards, spoons, your knives, because it dulls them. Okay, so we don't put our knives in. And I don't put my pots and pans in because I'm just a little bit of a nut job about it. I don't want my pots and pans to be, what's I'm looking for? Water spots. I don't care what you say. There's still water spotting. Let's see if our pasta is done. I've got a spoon with a hole in it, so getting a piece of pasta out of here is going to be a trick. Let's see. We're not throwing pasta at a wall. Okay, this is al dente. I'm just going to continue to cook even after I drain it. I'm turning that off. I'm going to drain the potatoes first because they've been sitting the longest. I have all my colanders here. And two big ones. My little ones can go back. Okay, we will start with potatoes. Is that hot? Not too hot. Okay. Potatoes strained. I need to dry these so that I can use both sides of my sink. So that's what we're doing. Now, I can't do much with my potato salad. I still have to dice the onion for that. Okay. I'm sure somebody was sitting there going, Rose, you said you were putting red onion in there. What did you say you're finished with it for? And I just didn't hear you. I'm so sorry. So we have to dice that red onion, and we've got to add that red onion into the mix for the pasta salad. And then we can dice a sweet onion for the potato salad. And I think I'm going to make life really easy on myself, get this done as quickly as possible. I'm going to use my food processor. That will get it done right quick. My pots and pans, let's see, just so you can know what I mean. This set of pots and pans right here are now, let's see, I was in the townhouse for 3 years. We've been here 2. So these are 5 years old so far. And they're in really good shape still. Okay. So I take care of them. I love my pots and pans. And they're not cheap. Nothing is cheap anymore, but pots and pans, good pots and pans have never been cheap. So, all right, let's get this out of the way. So if we take care of what we have, then it's going to last us forever. And when I moved out of the house in Wellington, and I went into the house in the townhouse in Green Acres, I got a new stove. And the new stove that I got was an induction top stove. And the key with induction top is that you can use whatever so long as it's magnetic. So there were plenty of pots and pans that I had that weren't magnetic that I ended up leaving with my stepdaughter. And she still has those pots and pans. I see them hanging. So they're still going strong. And the better you take care of them, the longer they'll last. Okay. Potatoes strained. Pasta is coming out next. Let me get that. Now these handles might be a little warm, so I'm just going to use my towel. And I love my stainless steel. I know there are plenty of people out there that really just only want nonstick, and then there are those people that like nonstick, but then it's all the chemicals, and I don't get into all that. I just don't. Okay. Beautiful. Now, 2 schools of thought. Depends on what you want to do with your pasta. Okay. If you rinse your pasta, you're taking the starch off of it and things aren't going to stick to it as well. If that's what you want to do, that's what you do. Okay. I want to leave the starch on because I want the dressing to kind of stick to it. I want the food, the other bits that I have in there, I want that to stick to it. So I'm not going to rinse my pasta. Okay, that's good. And we'll just check back in with it, right? Because if you don't rinse it, it also will get kind of sticky, but we'll check back in with it. I'm going to prep this onion. The red onion, I think I'm going to dice myself. The white onion, I might throw in that food processor. And there are people that prefer to do their own shopping because they are picky about the produce. I too am picky about my produce, but I also don't have that much time. So I did trust people to get me the betters. And maybe this is some of the better stuff they had. I don't know. But this whole outer piece is not very pretty. And since we eat the whole onion, I'm going to go ahead and just take that outer layer off. I'm not putting this in my garbage bag, right, for my stock. You notice that. I'm throwing this away. Mostly because I don't do red onion with my stock. Purple onion. And they are purple. Why do we call them red? I don't know. I can't answer that. Already my eyes are starting to burn. And I think red onion on grilled burgers is so much better than white onion. So I did get 2 red onions. I will slice 1 for burgers when I do the little tray with the... I didn't get any tomatoes. Well, when Jeff said he was going to go to the grocery for me tomorrow to get me dill, I'll ask him to get 2 tomatoes, just in case people want tomatoes with their burger. But we'll do the little tray that's going to have all the lettuce. Oh, I'm going to get lettuce too. See, I'm glad I'm talking to you guys. Let's see if I don't remember that in several hours. I do want to make this a really fine dice. I have said before, I do not care for raw onion. Love cooked onion. I like the taste of raw onion. I like the flavor that raw onion imparts. I do not like the taste of raw onion, if that makes sense. So I will chop that really small. Let's get rid of that before my mascara starts to run into my eyes. Let's see where we're at with this. I'm going to give it a little mix. Follow this one guy on Instagram, and he does healthy cooking, like high protein meals, stuff like that. And I don't know what nationality he is. He's got a British accent, so I'm going to assume he's British. Can be West Indian for all I know. I don't know. But his thing is mixy. So when somebody says mix it, he's like mixy. And sometimes he puts a little superlative in there, and sometimes he doesn't. Okay, I like the way that looks. I think I'm going to give it 1 more slice. Just 1 more slice. So we can get in there nice and thin now. There we go. That's fine. Because we cook on what here? We cook on vibes. It's going to be a long video. My last video was really long too. My last cooking video, but there was, like I said, some audio issues, and I'm not sure if I can fix that or not. I really don't know how. But Eric is supposed to be over tomorrow. Mr. with his 500 subscribers. So not that I'm going to really have time to talk shop, and really talking shop isn't going to help me. Like, we're going to have to bust it out, and he's going to have to show me and help me kind of thing. All right, I'm going to just put this in a bag. And then I'll slice this, and I have the other whole onion, so we'll be good. Right. Onion sliced, diced, very fine dice. Okay, mixed that in with all of that yummy Italian dressing. Let's give that pasta a stir just to make sure that it's already starting to stick. So we want to make sure. All right. I think as much as I wanted to leave that starch on there, I'm going to need to rinse this a little bit because it's still cooking, right? You can see all that steam coming up. So as much as I wanted to keep that starch on there, I want to stop that cooking also. Nose is starting to run from the onion. Finished it just in time. And if you cook this tricolored pasta too long, its color is going to come out. So we also cooked it a good amount of time because it's still got all its vibrant colors. Potatoes. Perfect. Really good. Okay. Still have that cake to do. It's already over an hour long. I know this is over an hour long. Let's see. This is open, so it needs to go in the fridge. I'll rinse this off. Move that there. Okay. We're pretty good. I can't add the pasta to that because everything's going to melt until that cools. I don't think you really care to watch me chop another onion, so I'm going to go ahead and just do the onion and the potato, put some mayonnaise in there, salt and pepper. Worst case scenario, do I have dried dill? I have a tiny bit of dried dill. And this is actually fresh dried dill. And that's from my sister's garden, which, Missy, gotta get on this. I need more dill. And so if Jeff can't find any fresh dill tomorrow for some reason, then I will be able to at least get that. At least I'll have the dry dill. And that's all that's going to go in that potato salad is the dill, the onion, mayonnaise, salt and pepper. Okay, that one's simple. I am going to stop this here. We're going to come back and do the cake. But I'm going to step outside and get the pan because I did not get my little mini pans. And I have several of them. So we're going to go out and grab a couple of them, make up the cake mix, get them in there, and get them baking. I will go ahead and start the oven, 350, nothing's in there, perfect. And I'll probably wash those pans off camera and then I'll come back to you. See you soon.